All right. On today's episode, I welcome on a very, very special guest. He is Joejuan Williams. He's a cornerback for the Minnesota Vikings. Joejuan, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, man. Super excited to have you on the show. I'm so glad we're able to connect over
Yeah,
Samurai
glad to be
Champloo.
here.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So this is awesome. But before we get into the anime questions, I want to ask you because you play in the NFL. Football season's a couple months away, which is one of the best times of the year. I always love fall. So, but how is your time in Minnesota and how are OTAs going?
My time in Minnesota has been great. From the again organizational wise, from the top down, the top notch. I love being there, and the whole team, the whole staff. They just want you to be at your most optimal self, and so they really do their best to help each player become their best versions of themselves, and they really respect everybody, and it's been a blessing.
That's awesome. Are you gonna get ready for the cold weather this year up there?
Oh yeah, man, I got to get ready for that. I mean, I came in a little bit early April when I first got up there. It was still in the 30s.
Oh
It's
my
got
God.
warm now. The summer has been really good. But I've heard I can get to -30. So I don't know how that even feels. But all I know is I gotta buy a coat there for there. It's something that I gotta do. So I mean, I'm not looking forward to the negative part of the weather, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna get through it.
Yeah, yeah. It's I've heard some things about Minnesota. I mean, heard like how crazy cold it is. And they have like tunnels, don't they? It's like walkway tunnels now instead of like
Oh
walk.
man, I realized how cold it can get just by. I mean, it's touching Canada, so I mean,
Yeah.
it's it's up there, man. So I just again, I gotta be prepared and buying gear from there that's built for Minnesota. So it's uh it's something that I got to get ready for and prepare for, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, good luck to you with the cold weather. But what's it like too to get acclimated to a new team, like to get to know your new teammates and create that chemistry?
Oh, it's been good, man. I mean, every time you go to a new team, there's a lot of transition. But at the end of the day, it's been really great. My defensive coordinator, Brian Flores, has Patriot ties.
Yep.
He was with the Patriots right up until I got drafted to the Patriots. And so he kind of brings the same type of feel, schematic wise. And so it's been good to adjust to that. And then overall, all the guys and staff, man, again, they're top notch. I mean, these guys really genuinely care about you and they want you to go out. They want you to go out and enjoy each other's company. Um, we've had multiple player sessions of where we just go and we'll watch the finals game. We'll all watch the finals game together. Taco Tuesdays, just different things about that. Just building that team camaraderie. And I feel like our organization just does a great job at that, especially for all the new guys coming out. I felt really welcome.
That's awesome. That's great that you're able to have that and have that tie too with Coach Flores as
Yep.
well. You guys been watching the NBA finals together?
Man, we've all been watching the NBA final. We've been watching really pretty much the playoffs throughout our whole OTAs time together. Um, I mean, each guy sometimes different guys will host different things. Um, Byron Murphy, 22. I'm blanking on names. They're still
It's all
still
right.
getting right with names. But at the end of the day, man, we literally have built such even over these few weeks, building just that camaraderie, building that team outside of just ball. It's been really great.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah. Who do you have in the finals? Do you think the Nuggets are going to take it all now, being
I
the
got
third?
in fine. I think the Nuggets are gonna take it over, man. I mean, they're just. I'm a LeBron fan, no matter what. So I'm LeBron wherever he goes. But at the end of the day, I think that the way the Nuggets have been playing throughout this whole postseason, I mean, it's looking like the Nuggets are gonna run away with this one.
They're so deep. They're so good. I watched them
Oh
last
yeah,
night. It's
there,
just crazy.
there. Yeah, that was that. I thought Miami had a chance for a little bit, but then at the end of the day, once, especially going up 3-1 now, I don't think that they're the type of team that's going to fold like that. But we'll see. You never know.
Yeah, NBA is crazy. I mean,
Oh yeah,
watching
definitely, definitely.
watching
It just takes a little swing in the fourth quarter and it's over with.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I like Jimmy Butler. I was hoping he would. I mean, he killed my Celtics, so but I like Jimmy Butler, so I was hoping he'd get
Oh,
something.
Jimmy Butler, a dog now. He competitive as hell. Like that's gonna be that's one dude that I can sit here and watch, and I know that he gonna go out there and ball. And again, the competitive part of it, I can just tell his mindset different.
Yeah, definitely, definitely for sure. Um, so you played for the Patriots. I
Mm.
mean, what was your time like with the Patriots playing? For obviously a team that has been a dynasty for the past 3 or 4 years, and also to hear your name get called on draft night too by the Pats.
Man, that was such a blessing. I mean, even that night was such a blessing because we had the draft was the first time ever got moved to Nashville, and so being in Nashville from Nashville, um, and being able to walk across that stage was such a blessing, man. And going to an organization like the Patriots, uh, learning from Bill Belichick, one of the greatest coaches in NFL history, if not the greatest coach in NFL history. um, it was just such a blessing. I've learned so much, and I'm very thankful that the Patriots was my foundation of my first 4 years in the NFL because it taught me how to be a pro and it's taught me how to go about things that I'm able to that I was able to learn and now bring to the Minnesota Vikings. And so overall, man, it's been a blessing.
That's awesome. Yeah, that must have been a cool experience to be first to get your name called on draft night. I think, which is every athlete as a kid growing up to hear your name get called.
Oh
That must
yeah,
have been an
and
experience.
that was such a great experience, man. And then just again, I was in Nashville.
At home.
Whole family was out. Being able to walk across the stage and look down Broadway and just see hundreds of thousands of people just crowd fill up the streets and then just having a great time, man. That was a night to remember right there.
That's awesome. That's such a great night. And then you played at Vandy, which is right in Nashville too, which is close to home. So that must have been an awesome experience to play college football close to home as well too.
Yeah, man. It was being at Vandy was a blessing as well. I wasn't planning on going to Vandy at first. I was actually committed to LSU, and I felt the pull at the end of the process to stay home because it was a blessing. I mean, I was able to leave in 3 years, leave early. I was able to graduate, come back and graduate and get my degree. Vandy has been nothing but a blessing to me, and they still support me to this day. And I'm wishing them nothing but the best. But it was a great time there too.
That's awesome. Well, it's so cool that you were able to play like college football at home and then
Yeah,
also get drafted at
at
home
home.
as well, that's gotta be like those are like two dream scenarios.
No, that was definitely dope, man. It was definitely such an experience, man. Again, that's why all I can say was that was a blessing, man. It was man. I can't put words to it.
Yeah, it's gotta be awesome and such a cool experience. I mean, now you're in Minnesota, and I'm sure great things are coming down the line for you for football. And being able to play for, just to be in the NFL is obviously just an
Yeah,
awesome experience for but that's awesome. So I hope you have a great year. I'm going to be buying your jersey. I'm going to become a
appreciate it.
Vikings fan this year.
Yeah, definitely got to.
Yeah, yeah. But I want to jump into anime because you and I connected on
Yeah,
social media over Samurai Champloo, and I like when you started following me, I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy! This is
yeah.
awesome!" I'm getting followed by an NFL player, and I wanted to reach out and have you on the show because you like Samurai Champloo. I mean, but where did your anime fandom begin?
My anime fandom began just as a kid through Toonami.
Yeah,
So those Saturday nights, man, I would stay up all night watching Toonami on Cartoon Network, and that's when I became a huge anime. I was always a Dragon Ball Z fan. Dragon Ball Z was my first love, and so when Toonami was able to introduce those new animes each night, from Dragon Ball Z, the Inuyashas, all these different shows that would come on. I just fell in love with it, and then from there, I just did way more research. I fell in love with Japanese culture from there, and so yeah, that's the next big plan. I'm gonna be in Japan. I'm gonna be in Japan by next year, and so that's gonna be an amazing experience. But it all started with Toonami and Cartoon Network.
That's awesome. That's actually my goal too. I want to go to Japan next year as well too.
Oh
That's
yeah,
that would,
I'm gonna make that happen, man. Look, if you're up there at the same time, connect with me, man. We'll definitely have a blast. I plan on going all out for that one.
yeah, same here. I really would just want to like eat a ton of ramen and like
Oh
check
yeah.
out. Yeah,
I'm gonna have a translator I'm gonna have a translator with me. I'm gonna go visit anything and everything like anime, Japan. Like I want to embrace put myself in the culture. Like I'm telling you, like I was deep into this stuff. Like really when I was a kid, I would literally learn Japanese from YouTube. Like I would, so I still to this day, I still know certain phrases. I still know how to count all the way up to 100. Like it's just because of the work that I was doing as a kid. Like I think that I mean again, I fell in love with just the culture and the style, and that's something that's always stuck with me.
that's awesome. I mean, too, like when you're growing up watching anime too, with like and the Japanese culture too, what do you think about the explosion of like the fandom of anime and Japanese culture coming over to the Western civilization now? Like I feel like
Oh
everyone's
yeah,
into
I
like
mean, I feel like now it's more a lot more people are open to anime culture,
yeah.
and to Japanese culture. I mean, but back in the day when I was a kid, it was like you would kind of get, and I was one of the cool dudes. I was an athlete. I always played football and stuff like that. But when it came to it at the lunch tables and stuff, like I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I'm playing different. Like I'm reading manga. Like there's no kids were really doing that, and it was kind of like, especially where I come from, it was just I was like really the only one, and just to see like just to see now there's a huge explosion over, especially in Western culture, for anime and love for anime. I mean, I think that that's dope. I mean, I'm really all for it. I've started to even embrace my love for anime. My starting to post more. I'm starting to post all my sketches that I do, my sketches and stuff that I do. I start to again follow different fan pages that I really think that are cool. And I mean, I think that I've just really even been embracing myself and my love for it even more outwardly
That's
to the world. And so I think that's been dope.
I mean, that's awesome too that you're able to like embrace it. And I feel like it's starting to hit more of the culture in the Hollywood scene too, and athletes like Jamal Williams for the Detroit Lions. He like calls himself the Okage, and he wears like the
Yep, yep.
Naruto
I
band.
mean, you look at Israel Adesanya. I mean, this last style bender. I mean, you look at this certain different athletes, top athletes to this day, and then I mean, even in Hollywood, if you watch Creed 3,
Yep.
I mean, Michael B. Jordan, big anime fan, but you see that the whole style and the whole scenes, you can if you watch their fights closely, they marry up to certain anime fights. I mean, Goku and Vegeta's fight, Goku and Majin Vegeta's fight,
Yeah.
where they was going at it. I mean, you saw that all throughout the last fight that they had in the climax of the movie. And so I think that man, it's been really cool just to see how it's been booming and really influencing a lot of Western culture now.
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome. I was like you too, like in high school, it was like one of those things I would play Pokemon cards and then
Yeah,
like I would watch like Dragon Ball Z with my friends. But if I had like some friends over that were like on my soccer team or like got like
yeah,
any
that
team,
wasn't hip to it.
yeah, I would like hide like my like
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. And that was I mean, even man, that was kind of for me, like I always like to stay, like for me, I always like to be myself, stay in my own lane. And so a lot of people didn't fool with it, but I was like, look, this is me. Like I'm gonna turn, and I even embrace that. I even embrace that on the field. Like I feel like that I become a different person on the field. I feel like that I transform into, you feel me, my Super Saiyan self on the
I love
field.
it.
And I think that I think that I like me embracing that more because of my love for it is so deep. Me embracing that more is only making me a better player. It's only making me, because I'm being myself, really,
Yeah.
and really embracing myself. So I think that that's been dope, man.
That's awesome. Well, you gotta wear some. You gotta get some anime gear out there and start, wearing
Hey
it
man,
out.
you got to give me one of them jackets. You got to give me one of them sweatshirts, man. That's hard right there,
Yeah,
man.
I'll get you one. I'll send you one for sure.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
get one.
definitely extra large, bro. Like that. That's hard right there. I definitely want to rock that.
Yeah, I'll send it over to you for sure.
Yeah,
I'll send you one.
yeah.
Um, so what is your favorite anime?
All-time favorites. I gotta give it to I gotta give it to the legend of Dragon Ball Z. And then I mean also the big three, which I grew up on, was will be Naruto, Bleach, and I would say One Piece, but I never got in One Piece. I never was in One Piece. And it's so many episodes, and the manga is still going like that. I'm just like, there's no way I'm gonna catch up now. Like there's so but also give it to One Piece just because of their influence. But all time will got to be Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Bleach. Afro Samurai is also a huge, like, I love the small I love the short films as well. So like Afro Samurai, another one in there that I slot in, FLCL, Fully Cooley.
Yep, yep.
And so that's an amazing. I love that. Toonami actually put me on that as well. When I was a kid, I remember watching FLCL. It was only 6 episodes then. And I remember they got a reboot. They did a season 2 and 3 in 2018. And I was in college at the time, and I was so excited. Like I was so excited just to see how it did, and it did fairly well. I loved it. But those have got to be all top tier. I mean, I'm probably missing a few, but Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Afro Samurai, FLCL, like those are my top.
Those are all great picks and everything. I want to ask you too, like what about we talked a little bit about Samurai Champloo. What about like Samurai Champloo and what you liked about that
Man,
anime?
I love Samurai Champloo. My I love that it brings in that one thing I love about is just about samurai, like samurais in general. Like I mean, and I love their scenes, I love their fighting, I love the way it's drawn out. I love the way it's seen in anime, in its style. Um and then I also love the soundtracks. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing too, is the mix of like the hip hop in its show and in how it's in its scene. I mean, it just marries up so well, man. And I think that it's another top tier anime that, I mean, again, Toonami put me on as well when I was a kid. I remember watching it, and then I ended up rewatching it again once I got a little bit older. But I mean, that's something, another top tier that I just love. Like again, I can go on about all-time favorites. Like I there's just not one for me. There's so many that I had to that keeps coming to my mind, but we can go all day with that one.
Well, I love it, man. I love that your fandom is so deep for anime and like how like you like all like an eclectic different bunch of shows, which is really, really cool. It's just Fooly Cooly is one I haven't heard anyone say in a long time. I remember Toonami turned me on to that show for two.
Yeah, yeah, no, Fully Cooley top tier. Fully Cooley's top tier as well, man. I love it. Actually, I mean, even if we're talking about OGs as well, I mean, Akira, that's just one that put a lot of people on, especially when it came out back in the day. I
Yeah.
mean, that's something that influenced. I feel like that movie influenced a whole, like it woke up a whole nation, the whole nation of it brought anime over to the States, over to Western culture. And then
Yeah.
it kind of Dragon Ball Z kind of brought it to another perspective, like, to a way higher perspective. But at the end of the day, like, man, there's so much that I can go into that's just really influenced me and who I become. Like it's great.
I love it. I love it. So what are your top three characters? I mean, you have eclectic view of things that you like. Do you have a top three characters that you enjoy the most?
So I'll say Afro from Afro Samurai.
Yeah.
I gotta go with Goku again. Goku. Again, three. When you give me three, it's like so many come to mind. That it's hard. It's really hard. I mean, outside of I'll say Afro, Goku, Naruto. I gotta add in Kanti from FLCO. Man, there's so
That's
many
tough.
again that I gotta get. I could go into way more, but I'm gonna just give you those because
Okay.
at the end of the day, like I can again, that's a very deep question. Just to put it three, I can't really put it three.
It's tough. It's tough. That is
Yeah.
a tough question. I was thinking about that too. I was like, man, who would I choose for like my
Who
top
would you
three?
choose? Who would you choose for your top three? Like what?
I had to go. I like so Mugen would be
Yep,
one.
definitely. That's same right.
Um, I would go with man. So it's tough because I like I like Goku and I like Vegeta, and I don't
Yeah,
know what I would choose out of those two if I were to choose like two different one.
yeah,
Um, maybe Yusuke Urameshi because he's
yep.
yeah, that's one of my favorites. But and then I probably and then Spike Spiegel too. That's another one. I don't know.
Like,
See,
man, what Cowboy Bebop,
yeah,
man?
yeah,
That's that's another one. That's a classic there, man. And so
yeah.
I think that there's so much it's so broad now that man, like and
It's
these are
tough.
great. You make me actually want to go rewatch some stuff now. Like, but no, those are some great picks as well, man. It's
Yeah.
top two.
Yeah, I like you said, it's tough. I mean, I could go Hero Yui from Gundam, like all these
Yeah.
like everything. It's really tough. But that leads me to my next question, though. I mean, let's have a little fun with this one. If you were to build an NFL team, I mean, who would you take as around anime characters? It's even playing field. What characters would you take at like QB, wide receiver?
And so QB, I'll have to go with somebody really smart. I mean, I would, and because again, I when I first came into the league, I played with Brady, so like it was like
Yeah.
somebody who reminds me of Brady, and that would be Senku from Doctor Stone, and then or Norman from The Promised Neverland, and
Okay.
and so really two really smart guys, somebody you would really want as a leader that can really, and I feel like that would really analyze the defense and break them, like literally pick part and break them down and already know what they're doing from an offensive perspective before they even snap the ball. So I feel like those two guys, Senku and Norman from The Promised Neverland, those got to be my QBs. That's gonna be my QB.
All right.
Um, Running back, I'll go Saitama from One Punch.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so nobody's tackling him. Like let's just be real. You hand him off the ball, nobody's tackling him. His stiff arm will be outrageous. Like he's gonna be
Yeah.
stiff arming people out the stadium. So I mean, I feel like that's another top pick there. I gotta grab him. Wide receiver, I'm going with Sonic.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Sonic the Hedgehog. Another top of my, if another all-time favorite of mine. But I gotta go with Sonic. I mean, again, nobody's catching him. So I mean, like that's gonna be my wide receiver. That's like my Tyreek Hill. And then linebacker, defensive wise, I'm going with Bakugo from My Hero.
Okay. Okay.
Just his mentality, like the way he just and blasting everything around him, like his mentality, and it's like Vegeta at the end of the day. Like those would be my two linebackers. Really, will be Vegeta or like Bakugo.
Yeah.
Just
That's
because their mentalities represent like linebacker. Like no matter what, like I'm gonna get like I got this. Like
yeah.
somebody you real deal would just be like, oh, okay, I know I got these dudes riding with me. And so my back end guys, my back end secondary, my whole secondary are Uchiyas. They gotta have Sharingans. I mean, and you look at it, bro, like you got a Sharingan, you're able to copy anybody's movements, any wide receiver's movements. It's over with. The game's over with. Like they're the top corners in the league. So I definitely got Sasuke as my corner beside me, and Itachi as my safety in the back end. Especially if I put Itachi as the safety in the back end just because the safety position is kind of the quarterback of the defense outside of the linebacker. Some teams are linebackers, some teams are the safeties. But I say Itachi would be the best quarterback of the defense, how smart he is and how he's able to, again, his Sharingan is top tier. I mean, there's nobody that's going to be better than him. So at the end of the day, that would be my lineup. That would be my lineup right there.
my God. That'd be a tough team to beat. I think.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think nobody else beat. I don't think nobody else beat mine. Like I really don't see anybody else coming close to what I got lined up. What I'm coming on Sundays with.
No, no, definitely not. I don't know. I didn't
What
even
you
think.
what you what you feel like you got? What would you put?
So I was thinking actually. So I was thinking Saitama as my QB because of the arm strength. I was thinking.
Oh yeah, no, that yeah.
That's a good one. And I think,
Ikeman's gonna be all around. Like he's gonna be all over. You can put him anywhere on the field. He's gonna make some plays.
yeah, yeah, that's what yeah, he's gonna make some great plays. And I was thinking running back. I was thinking about going with Goku for my running back
Oh yeah,
because he
yeah,
never doesn't give up.
yep.
Um, a wide receiver. I was thinking either like Vegeta on the other end of it. So I was thinking some DB guys, some Dragon Ball.
Oh
But
yeah,
also,
yeah. Vegeta definitely has a DB mentality. No,
yeah,
Vegeta definitely has a DB mentality. That's he because at the end of the day, bro, I think that DBs are the hard like that's the hardest position to play on the field, especially cornerback.
oh my
Like you
God.
got to have a mentality of you can play. I mean, you can play 60. There's a 62 play game. You can play perfect for 61 plays. And if you give up one deep ball for the game, I mean, it's all on you. And you got to be able to bounce back, respond, and have a different type of mentality of where your belief in yourself is so strong and that no matter what happens throughout this game, throughout the season, throughout this play, that it's like, forget that. Like, I know I'm coming in next play and I'm going to still have that belief in myself. So, Vegeta, definitely, like, you know how, I mean, Vegeta was never he's always, he's always second. You will see he's always second in command of Goku, but at the end of the day, his mentality is just built different. Like, his mentality is just no matter what, I'm continuing to work, I'm continuing to train, I'm continuing to make sure that I'm the best that I could be, so I can go out there and execute. So yeah, I definitely have Vegeta on the back end as
Yeah,
well.
he's just a monster. And like that well, the DB man position too. I don't know how you play it because even when I used to play pickup football, I'd have to like run backwards to start and have that quickness to go backwards and
Yeah,
like I have a lot of
being able to go backwards and then react to off of what a receiver that's already running forwards and being able to react to him and he already knows his route. Like he knows what he's doing. You don't know a thing. Like so
yeah,
you got to kind of take process of elimination. You based off formation splits. There's a lot that goes into it. But you got to be able to react, and that's one of the hardest things that you can do. And if again, it's especially in the NFL where it's a game of inches, where uh if you're late 1 second, I mean that could be the potential. That would be a potential touchdown, pass breakup, or interception.
right.
And so it's all about timing. And if you got to be perfect timing, perfect reactions at all times. And so I mean, and then you got to continue to go back up there and do it again for 60 plus plays every game. And so I definitely feel like it's the hardest position.
Yeah, it is. And I don't think some of you guys don't get like a lot of the credit that you guys deserve, like for everything that you do. I
Oh
think a
yeah.
lot of it goes on the offensive side, where the credit goes to. But I think, the DB man, it's not an easy position. And like you said, you got a wide receiver already know where he's going, so you get to
Yep.
react to like his body, like how he's moving his hips or like his body, like to see which way he's gonna go and pick up on it, and then look at the QB too to see where their eyes are. I don't know how many eyes do you have the Sharingan? Do you have that?
Hey, I like to tell myself that. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
and that was why when you asked me about the back end question, who I wanted my secondary, I already kind of knew who because I mold myself off of. At the end of the day, I like to tell myself like, hey, I can read and react to anyone, and really telling myself that, giving myself that mindset of man, whatever's thrown at me, I'm able to react and I'm able to execute. And so, yeah.
Man, yeah. I mean, all the credit in the world to you guys, like the DB positions, and keep it up, man. I hope you get like 10 interceptions, 15 interceptions this year. I want that Sharingan.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yep.
Yeah. And then so what are you watching now? Like any animes you're watching now or anything?
And currently watching now, it will be two. Will be Mashley and Hell's Paradise.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if anybody is on that. It's kind of not the main things there. I read a lot more. I read a lot more manga when it comes to the main, like My Hero, and different things like that. I'm a weekly manga reader, but watching right now would definitely be Mashley. It's about it's about this guy who is in a wizard society. Everybody has magic. Everybody's able to use magic, and he was born without any magic powers, and he's only able to use muscle. So like he reminds me of Saitama a lot. Like his vibe's really cool. So if you haven't watched it, definitely check that out. It's super funny, man, and I feel like it's gaining a lot more popularity now. I definitely feel like it's gonna be a big hit. And then Hell's Paradise. I mean, I love that. I love that show as well. It's about a bunch of convicts that and it's about a bunch of assassins really that are pretty much on all of them are on death row, and where they got put on this island to look for the fountain of youth pretty much.
Oh wow.
And if they find it, then they'll have their sentence removed, so they will be able to live. They will be able to live. The thing is, only one person can find it, and so it's a bunch of assassins again, and they're guarded by a bunch of samurai as well. And it's this island is not just no normal island. It's a lot of things that they got to face, not only from the different assassins, but also from this island. And so it's really dope, man. I love it. I love it as well. They had their first season. They just had their first. I think they're on episode like 9 or 10 now.
Okay.
And then so I'm watching those two, and then also I would say I have it right here in my head. I'm completely blanking on it right now. Soccer.
Blue Lock.
Blue Lock. There we go. Yeah, Blue Lock. So I actually read the manga for Blue Lock about a year or two ago. And then I was like, you know what? I read it halfway through, and I was like, you know what, man? I'm going to wait on the animation. Once I heard that they was going to start producing the anime for it, and the animation has just been amazing. So I'm watching Blue Lock as well. I think that those are the top three that I've been watching right now.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have to check out those two, the Hell's Paradise and the Smashly.
Nationally, yep, definitely you got to check it out. What are you watching right now?
Right now I haven't been on top of it as much, but I'm about to start Demon Slayer. I haven't seen that. Yeah.
Oh, word, yeah, no, Demon Slayer's nice. Demon Slayer's gonna be another top anime that's gonna be nice. Also, even speaking of Demon Slayer, it reminds me that another top tier that I forgot to put in my top all-time list. Again, there's so much. But Full Metal Alchemist, man, like Full Metal Alchemist. Watching that again as a kid on Toonami, I can vividly just see myself watching it in my downstairs TV in the middle of the night. I mean, it's got that show there really got me through some times as well. And so Full Metal Alchemist is another top tier. I might have to go rewatch that, man. But yeah, no, Demon Slayer is another top tier. You'll love it.
Yeah, I'll have to I definitely need to catch up on it. My buddy's been asking me to like watch it because he wants to like watch the next season together, and then and then I want to shoot, I'm drawing a blank, man. Gundam Witch from Mercury, the Witch from Mercury Gundam
Man,
show. I've been watching that.
I haven't heard about that. What's it about?
It's so. Have you seen the Gundam series at all by any chance?
All the like the OG Gundam series?
Yeah, like Gundam Wing or something like that.
Yeah, I definitely I mean I have a whole like Gundam neon light thing in my crib. Like
you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've really been embracing like I've been getting it even this year, man. I've been buying more action figures. All of the things I wanted to get as a kid, I've really been doing now that I've been just collecting now. Like whether that's action figures, whether that's cards. I've been collecting just different cards. I just bought this PSA 10 Blue Eyes White Dragon. And I can't wait till this thing comes in, man. It looks so dope. But I just been embracing that side of myself, and it's made me a lot more just happier just being me, like, because that's always been me, but like really just showing it to the world of this is who I am, and it's just made me a lot more happier, man. So yeah, like I mean that Gundam figure, I watched Gundam when I was a kid, And I remember one of my first action figures was Gundam. It was I think McDonald's was running a kind of promotion
Oh, were
uh,
they?
with their Happy Meals, and this was like early 2000s. And I remember getting it. I remember getting it. I was playing with that. I was playing with that toy all day. Like I was playing with that figure all day. Um, and I always, as a kid, wanted to get different action figures from Dragon Ball Z, and Naruto, and all that stuff. But I never had the bread to. And now
Yeah.
I do again. And now I'm really embracing it. I think that it's been dope.
That's awesome. Yeah, I got some. I still have my Gundam action figures from when I was a kid growing
Oh,
up.
that's what's up.
They're
You
still
collect
like the
you
great.
collect anything? Like, do you got like a you got like a little man cave or anything you collect then?
I gotta put it together. I have like a bunch of Gundam stuff, and then I found all my old like Dragon Ball Z like movies and
Oh, that's dope. Yeah. So
VHSs and stuff like
I
that.
plan on man, the VHSs, man. That's yep,
Yeah.
yep. I remember my first Dragon Ball Z movie I had was Revenge of Cooler, and it was the VHS, and I
Yeah.
always thought that was dope, man. And I mean, even Dragon Ball Z was one of the first things that inspired me to draw as a kid. So I'm slowly starting to post all my sketches. I used to do it in college, and I mean, even I'm picking them now again. But I used to love like it all started with Dragon Ball Z. Like I would draw Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that. But that
Awesome.
VHS it gave me a bunch of memories. But I plan on setting up like a little man cave. I plan on setting up a little man cave once I really get settled down into a crib. I have
Yeah.
a nice little man cave with just a bunch of sports memorabilia and also anime as well. And then also I'm a big video game head too. So it's gonna have all my video games from the PS1 all the way out to whatever PlayStation it is. Once this gets built, from my Nintendo 64, it's gonna have the Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, and all those old games as well that I always played. It's gonna be nice, man. I'm already seeing it. I've already been visualizing it, man, and really seeing it in my head. So I know it's gonna picture out one day.
I can't wait to see it. You got to send me some pictures of it once you get it up and going because
Yeah,
that sounds
yeah,
awesome.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
I might have to send you some of my old stuff. I might send you some of my old DBZ movies. You can put it up in there if you want.
Oh man, hey, that man, much respect, bro. I appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, I have a ton, man. I got a ton of old. I got all the Gundam. I think I have all the Gundam Wing DVDs, and I think I have
Yeah,
some old VHSs. I mean, you can't play them, but unless you
yeah.
got a VSR.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
That'll be a
but
cool collectible.
yeah, I'll send them to you. Yeah, you
Yo,
can have them.
appreciate you.
Yeah, of course, of course. Well, that brings me to my next question because I'm part of a startup company called Anime Village, and you mentioned you like to read manga. So here we create like our own original mangas, and we're actually doing games based off of those mangas too. So each manga that we have, and they're all focused on different genres of anime. So we have the shonen, we have the action,
Yeah,
supernatural, and slice of life. Right now, we're working on our action one, which is Adamanta, which is in the my background here for our cover, and we just started creating the manga for it. But we're also gonna have like a game too that's a metaverse-based game, but it's also RPG too. So you can play the RPG or the metaverse, and then they interlock with each other.
exactly.
So it's
Dope.
like, yeah, and it's different stories and things like that. So we want to get your thoughts on being like yourself, being an anime fan and like mangas, and a company trying to do something like this that's just not a linear storytelling, but almost like creating a whole universe.
The universe. Yeah, no, I think that that's actually dope. Again, I would love to check that out and see it. It sounds like you're doing something that's fairly new.
Yeah.
Kind of with creating that whole universe. Especially when it comes to now we're getting into VR headsets and metaverse. I mean, I know you saw that Apple dropped that new Pro lens, like that Pro vision goggle lens and stuff like that too. Where it's like, I think that embracing like I'm blanking on what I was just about to say. I had a good point, but at the end of the day, man, it sounds great. It sounds great, and it's definitely something that I would love to. Definitely something that I would love to check out. So whenever we get off, definitely send me that link. Definitely send me that link, and I'd love to check it out and get you review, like send you a review on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send you the link to our manga. I think the first chapter of it is already done and it's downloadable. And then I think once everything's done, I'm sure we'd be happy to send you a
That's what's
copy of
up.
it.
When'd you come up with the idea?
So our founders came up with the idea for it like a couple years ago or last year or so, and then they brought me on board to like help out with some aspects of it, like doing the podcast and the social media. But I'm also like helping like with some character to like I'm creating a character too that's
Yeah,
gonna be
that's what's up.
so they like write a lot, and I've been like talking to one of our founders, so he's been giving me tips on like how to write and
Yeah.
like to create characters and like to create a demeanor for a character and so stuff. So we're adding like some. So I might eventually might have my own manga with them as too, because I've had like an idea that I'm working on. And I want to try to
That's
write it.
actually what's up, man. You're like I remember writing out I drew out my first manga when I was in the 7th grade.
Really?
Yeah, and I mean, again, I had no idea how to make panels. I had no idea how to do anything. I was going straight off just how manga really looked. I'm creating my own squares. I kind of wrote out my own Tom like storyline. It was about two brothers. Um, and I mean, again, it was about the two brothers samurai that grew up with their mom. And the pops was already dead and gone. But that just brought me back a lot of memories, man. So I'm wishing you nothing but the best on that. I'm actually looking forward to reading what you create, man. And I mean, now researching on mangakas, like how they up in Japan and how much like they put time and work that they have to put into creating a manga and creating characters, creating the storylines, creating the designs. I mean, it's a process. Like, and they have no time. Like, so I mean, they put a lot into it. So at the end of the day, man, I'm wishing you the best on that.
Thanks. Yeah, our founder Brian, he's writing our first one, and he wrote like 3 chapters, and he's like spends like all day doing it and doing research.
Yeah, like it's an
It's
all day thing. Like people
yeah,
just think that it's not like some people don't even think about how much goes into it, but it's really an all day thing.
yeah, it's crazy. The research he does and stuff he came up with, I was like, I don't know how you even
Definitely,
thought of that or like
definitely.
looked into it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Yeah, we also like have like a thing called reps, which is like because we have so much going on, we're eventually gonna try to create our own animes too off the mangas. Um,
Oh,
yeah, so we have like a thing, so we call it reps. It's called read, engage, play, stream. So you can read if you read a manga and then you go to our website, you can engage or be on in the metaverse, engage with your friends, and then you can play on the metaverse. And then eventually it'll be stream. We'll have like watch parties of the animes.
hey, look, gonna send me that once you get all that,
Yeah,
we'll definitely still be in touch. Gonna send me
yeah.
that invite. I'll love to join and support as any way I can.
I appreciate that. We really appreciate that. That's big time. And then I have one last question for you,
Yeah.
before we sign off. This is a Nashville question. Best place to get hot chicken.
Best place to get hot chicken. I'm OG. I'm an OG. Like, so I say Princess. Princess Hot Chicken was one of the first where I saw lines of people that wasn't from the hood. Like, it was in Princess Hot Chicken was in the hood, and lines of people that you could tell that wasn't from the hood would stay in, like would go in there and just wait for hot chicken. And then now, I mean, as Nashville's beginning to boom, you see different places like Hattie B's, different other hot chicken spots. But I always go with the OG that I grew up on. That would be Princess Hot Chicken.
I love it. I love it. That's
Definitely.
awesome. I have to check it out. I've been to Nashville once, and that was during COVID. Unfortunately, I was driving down to Dallas when I
Oh
was
yeah,
moving.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's okay. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I have one last question. I didn't realize that you played with Tom Brady. I thought he had left the team when you got drafted. What was it like to play with Tom? And
Oh, playing with Tom was amazing, man. That that guy was somebody that was he was a true team. He was a true team leader. Like, you can just from his energy, from everything about him, he was such a leader. And he was so inspirational at the end of the day. And he was very humble, like, to the fact of, man, I come in as a rookie And I remember it was actually when I first met him, it was actually just me and him in the locker room.
Oh, really?
And I look at the back of his head, I'm like, oh, that's Tom. Like I'm not gonna run up on him and like try to fanboy and like say like, oh, what's up, Tom? Like I was gonna like kind of just chill and wait. So I'm waiting in my locker. But he actually walks up to me, reaches his hand. I was like, oh, what's your name? And he was like, I was like, oh, Joejuan. He was like, yeah, no, you that big corner that, and like he started just going and talking about like he already knew who I was. And he started just talking about kind of like my history. And I'm just like, yo, like he already knows, like, and that's this Tom Brady. And so man, he's and you ask anybody that played for Tom, I mean, they have so many of the same stories about, I mean, how much of a great guy he is. And at the same time, he's very competitive. Like
Yeah.
very, very competitive. Like I loved going back and forth with him, talking trash before practice. We got very competitive. We got very competitive one time at playing playing pop shot basketball um, over Mr. Kraft's over Robert Kraft's crib. And I remember I beat him the first game. And I started talking trash, and he just looked at me. He was like, all right, bet." And then we played best out of three, and he won the last two. Like I was turning around, start talking trash right back. Like, and so at the end of the day, man, he's a very competitive dude, but he's a genuine dude, like really genuine. That's the best thing I could say. Like really, just a genuine overall genuine guy, man. And man, I'm wishing him the best in his retirement. Um, he's a really special dude, man.
That's awesome. Well, that's awesome. You got to play with him, and Joejuan, this has been a lot of fun, man. I love talking anime with you. You are
Oh
an
yeah, man, this has
absolute,
been dope, man. I appreciate you for sure.
yeah, you're a true fan, man. It was really cool. You got me now. I got to go back and watch Fooly Cooley and check out Hell's Paradise.
But you definitely got to check out Mashley and Hell's Paradise, man. Those are two new ones now that's really on the come up. And so yeah, you definitely got to check that one out. Those are two dope ones I love.
I'll have to check it out. But Joejuan, thank you so much for your time, man, and anything that you need from us or anything we could do for you or whatever. Happy to we're here for you. And thanks so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Hey man, appreciate it. Definitely, man. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, no problem.